All right, let's dive into something that I think a lot of people can relate to,
Yeah.
especially here in California.
Hmm.
It's tenant rights, and
Yeah.
specifically when it comes to
Yeah.
rodent infestation.
Rodent infestations.
So, you're renting a place, all of a sudden you have some uninvited guests.
Oh.
We're going to figure out, what your rights are as a tenant
Exactly.
and what you can expect from your landlord.
Yeah.
We've got some really great information from Simple Pest Management
Hmm.
to help guide us.
A great resource.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm Mark Buzz.
And I'm Anna Bugs.
And if you like what you hear, please give us a like and a follow.
Yeah.
We'd really appreciate it. And also give Simple Pest Management a follow on social media.
Yeah. They're a great resource.
They are. So let's jump into this.
Yeah.
A lot of people might not know this,
Right.
but in California, you actually have a right to a rodent-free home.
Yes, you do.
Like it's actually written into the law.
It is. It's part of what's called the warranty of habitability.
Warranty of habitability.
Yeah.
That sounds serious.
It is. It basically means that your landlord is legally required to provide a living space that meets basic health and safety standards.
Oh, okay.
And that includes keeping it free from, pests like rats and mice.
So that means like it's the landlord's responsibility to take care of it if those things show up.
Well, it's a little more nuanced than that. In most cases, yes, the landlord is responsible. Especially if you know the infestation is coming from some sort of structural issue with the property.
Right, like cracks or something.
Exactly. Cracks, gaps in the foundation, things like that. But here's the catch.
Okay.
If the infestation is clearly a result of the tenant's actions,
Oh.
then the responsibility might shift.
Okay.
So, for example, if you know a tenant is not keeping their apartment clean,
Right.
leaving food out, attracting pests,
Right.
then it might become their responsibility.
So it's a two-way street.
Yeah, it's definitely a shared responsibility.
The landlord has to maintain the property.
Yeah.
But the tenant also has to maintain a clean living space. Got it. And that's why it's so important to, really read through your lease agreement.
Right.
It should outline who's responsible for what when it comes to pest control.
Exactly. Make sure it's spelled out clearly.
Okay. So let's say you're in your California rental
Right.
and you discover you have a rodent problem.
Uh-oh.
What's the first thing you should do? Besides scream?
Besides, screen documentation is key.
Okay.
You need to gather evidence of those unwelcome guests.
So like what kind of evidence are we talking about?
Well, droppings are a big one.
Great.
You might hear noises.
Yeah, scurrying in the walls.
Scurrying, gnawing.
Uh-oh.
You might even see signs of damage, like gnaw marks on furniture or food packaging.
Okay.
And then once you have that evidence,
Right.
it's super important to report the issue to your landlord.
Okay, how do I report it, though? Like a text message?
No. A formal written notice is best.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that way you have a clear record of your communication.
So not just a, hey, there's a rat in my kitchen text message.
Not ideal. It's always best to be formal and put it in writing.
Okay, good to know. So I've sent the notice.
Yeah.
Now, how long does the landlord actually have to fix the problem?
Well, California law doesn't give a specific time frame. They use this kind of vague term.
Okay.
Reasonable time.
Reasonable time.
Yeah, but of course a rodent infestation isn't something you want to just sit around and wait for.
No.
And to add a little fuel to the fire, did you know that a single pair of rats
Oh, no.
can produce over 2,000 offspring in a year?
2,000.
Yes, 2,000.
Okay, that's a lot of rats.
That's a lot of rats. So yeah, swift action is absolutely critical.
I'm officially creeped out. So let's say the landlord's not really responding.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just call an exterminator myself and take it out of my rent?
That's where the repair and deduct option comes in.
Repair and deduct.
Yeah, but there are very specific rules you have to follow.
Okay.
First, you have to give the landlord a reasonable chance to deal with the issue. If they fail to act, then you can hire a licensed pest control service.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
the cost of that service can't exceed 1 month's rent.
Oh, so there's a limit.
There is a limit.
Oh, bad.
So, for example, let's say your rent is $1,500 a month and the exterminator costs $2,000.
Okay.
You can only deduct that $1,500.
So I'm out $500.
Yeah, in that case. But if the exterminator costs less than your rent,
Okay.
you can deduct the full amount.
Gotcha. This is starting to sound pretty complicated.
It can be.
Yeah.
It can.
I'm thinking maybe getting a lawyer involved might be a good idea.
I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah. Just to make sure I'm doing everything by the book.
Yeah, absolutely. They can make sure you're protected and following all the rules.
All right. So we've covered what to do when you actually find the rodents.
Right.
But what about preventing them in the first place?
Prevention is key.
Yeah.
And it's really a shared responsibility between landlords and tenants.
Okay. So what can landlords do?
Well, they should regularly inspect their properties for any potential entry points.
Like cracks and things.
Exactly. Cracks, gaps around pipes, any opening a rodent could squeeze through.
Got it. And what about tenants?
Well, cleanliness is your best weapon.
Okay.
Keep your living space clean and clutter-free because rodents love to hide in those dark, cluttered spaces.
Yeah, that makes sense. And food.
Yeah, food storage is huge.
Okay.
Make sure to store all food in airtight containers. Clean up any spills or crumbs immediately.
Right.
Don't leave dirty dishes in the sink overnight.
So basically make it as unappealing to rodents as possible.
Exactly. That's the goal.
Make them feel unwelcome.
Unwelcome.
All right, so we've talked about what to do when you find rodents and how to prevent them.
Yes.
But what happens if the landlord just doesn't respond?
That's where things can get a little trickier.
Yeah. What are my rights as a tenant in California if my landlord is just ignoring the problem?
Well, you do have some legal recourse. And remember that warranty of habitability we talked about? That gives you some leverage. But we'll dive into those legal options in the next part of our deep dive.
So stay tuned.
All right, sounds good. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to our deep dive on rodent rights.
So last time we were talking about what to do when you first, spot those signs of rodents.
Right.
And we also mentioned this thing kind of warranty of habitability, which sounds like it's a pretty big deal for tenants in California.
It is. It's a pretty powerful legal tool. And it's especially relevant when you're dealing with a landlord who's, not really taking a rodent infestation seriously.
So like they're ignoring the problem.
Yeah, ignoring it, dragging their feet, not responding to your notices.
And in those cases, can I actually sue the landlord?
Well, it's a little more complicated than that. But essentially, yes. If the infestation is severe enough to make the unit uninhabitable.
Uninhabitable meaning like?
Meaning it poses a serious health and safety risk.
Right.
Then you have grounds to take legal action.
Okay, but before we go to court, are there any steps I can take to, try and resolve things without getting lawyers involved? Of course. The first step is always to try and work things out amicably with your landlord.
Okay.
Sometimes a firm but polite reminder of their legal obligations under that warranty of habitability is enough to get them moving.
So basically reminding them that they have to fix this.
Exactly. And you can even mention the potential consequences they could face if they don't address the issue.
Okay, so that's the first step. But what if they still don't respond?
Well, if those friendly reminders don't work, then you can escalate things by filing a formal complaint with your local housing authority.
The housing authority?
Yes. They have the power to investigate your complaint. And they can actually cite the landlord for code violations if they find that the rodent infestation is making the unit uninhabitable.
So they're like the rodent police?
In a way, yes.
Okay. And what happens if even the housing authority can't get the landlord to budge?
Well, then you have what I like to call the nuclear option.
The nuclear option.
But I wouldn't recommend it unless you've exhausted all other avenues and you've consulted with a lawyer.
Okay. What is it?
It's called withholding rent.
Withholding rent.
Yes, but it's not something to be taken lightly.
Right.
There are very specific legal requirements you need to meet in order to withhold rent legally.
Okay. So I can't just stop paying rent because I saw a mouse?
Exactly. You need to have documented evidence of the problem.
Okay.
You need to have notified your landlord multiple times in writing. And ideally, you should have involved the housing authority.
Right.
And even then, it's crucial to talk to a lawyer before you do anything.
It sounds like having a lawyer on your side is pretty important in these situations.
It can be. They can guide you through the process, make sure you're protected, and help you understand all the legal nuances.
So we've talked a lot about what tenants can do.
Yeah.
But let's flip the script for a second.
Yeah.
What are the landlord's responsibilities when it comes to rodents?
Well, California law is pretty clear on that landlords have a legal obligation to provide habitable housing. And that includes making sure the unit is free from pests, including rodents.
Okay, but what does that mean in practice? Like, if a tenant reports a rodent problem, what exactly does the landlord have to do?
Well, the law doesn't lay out a specific protocol, but the expectation is that landlords will respond to these complaints promptly and take meaningful action to address the issue.
So does that mean like they have to hire an exterminator? Or is it enough to just set a few traps?
It really depends on the situation.
Okay.
But the key is that they need to take steps that are actually effective in resolving the problem.
So no half measures.
Exactly. And remember, the warranty of habitability requires landlords to maintain a living space that meets basic health and safety standards.
Right.
A rodent infestation, especially a severe one, clearly violates those standards.
So it's in the landlord's best interest to take care of this.
Absolutely. Ignoring a rodent problem can lead to a lot of headaches for them down the road. Legal headaches, financial penalties, even damage to their property.
I guess it's really better to just nip it in the bud.
I couldn't agree more. And speaking of nipping it in the bud,
Yeah.
prevention is always the best approach.
Prevention.
If landlords and tenants work together to prevent these infestations in the first place, it can save everyone a lot of trouble.
So let's talk about some of those practical prevention tips. What can both landlords and tenants do to make their properties less attractive to rodents?
For landlords, it all starts with regular inspections.
Okay.
They should be checking their properties for any potential entry points.
Like cracks in the walls.
Exactly. Cracks, gaps around pipes, wires, any openings that rodents could squeeze through.
And what about tenants?
Well, one of the biggest things tenants can do is maintain a clean and clutter-free living space.
Okay.
Because those little critters love to hide in dark, cluttered areas.
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly. So get rid of the clutter and make those hiding spots disappear.
Makes sense. And what about food?
Food storage is another big one.
Okay.
Store all food in airtight containers. Clean up any spills or crumbs immediately.
No leaving snacks out on the counter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And don't forget about proper garbage disposal. Take out the trash regularly and store it in tightly sealed containers.
So basically, make it as difficult as possible for rodents to find food.
Exactly. You want to discourage them from setting up shop in your home.
Okay, so we've covered inspections, cleanliness, food storage. Anything else?
Well, even with the best prevention efforts, sometimes rodents can still find a way in.
Oh, no.
So early detection is also crucial.
What does that mean?
It means being vigilant about looking for those telltale signs of rodent activity.
Okay, like what kind of signs?
Droppings are a big one.
Uh-oh.
Also look for gnaw marks on furniture or food packaging. And if you hear any suspicious scratching noises,
Yeah, in the walls.
don't ignore them.
Okay, so report those to the landlords right away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The sooner you report it, the better.
So they can take care of it before it turns into a bigger problem.
Exactly. Early intervention is key.
And sometimes those DIY solutions just aren't enough.
Right.
So when do you know it's time to call in the professionals?
That's a great question, and that's what we'll be talking about in the final part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We'll be exploring the world of professional rodent control and how those experts can help.
Sounds good. I'm ready to get those professionals on the case.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so we're back and ready to tackle the big question.
Right.
When do you know it's time to bring in the professionals for rodent control?
Well, if you've tried all those basic prevention steps,
Yeah.
sealing up those entry points, keeping things clean, and you're still seeing signs of those little guys,
Right.
that's a pretty good indicator that you might need professional help.
Okay.
And if you think the infestation is pretty widespread, or maybe you're dealing with a particularly tough species,
Like some super rat.
right, maybe it might be time to call in the experts.
Okay, so besides just getting rid of the rodents, what are some other advantages of hiring a professional?
Well, think of professional pest control services as like rodent specialists.
Okay.
They have the experience, they have the knowledge,
Right.
and they've got all the tools to not just eliminate the current rodents, but also to really figure out where they're coming from
Right.
and stop them from coming back.
So it's a more long-term solution.
Exactly.
Not just a Band-Aid.
Right. They're not just going to set a few traps and call it a day.
Okay.
They'll do a thorough inspection of the property. They'll find those entry points,
Right.
the nesting areas,
Yeah.
and they might even have access to treatments that you can't get yourself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And I imagine they also know how to deal with the, health hazards
Absolutely.
that come with rodents.
That's a big one. Rodents can carry diseases,
Right.
parasites.
Yeah.
It's not something you want to mess with without the proper knowledge and protection.
So you're saying don't try this at home.
Yeah. Leave it to the professionals.
Okay. So how do I actually go about finding a good pest control company?
Well, first and foremost,
Yeah.
make sure they're licensed and insured.
Okay.
That's non-negotiable.
That's important.
Yeah, it protects you and the property
Okay.
if anything goes wrong.
Makes sense. Also, look for companies with good reviews.
Yeah, definitely.
A proven track record.
Testimonials from past clients.
Right. Word of mouth is always good.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask for references.
Yeah.
Or even to ask about the specific treatments they use.
Right.
Whether they offer any guarantees.
Okay, so basically do your research.
Do your research.
Yeah.
Find a company you trust.
Okay, so the pest control company has come in. They've got rid of the rodents.
Right.
What happens next?
Well, hopefully that's the end of the story.
Yeah.
But the work's not really over until you've taken steps to prevent those rodents from making a comeback.
Oh, right.
Prevention is an ongoing thing.
Gotcha.
A good pest control company will give you recommendations for ongoing prevention.
So like what kind of things?
They might tell you to seal up any remaining entry points,
Okay.
keep up with the cleaning,
Right.
and be on the lookout for any signs of new activity.
So basically just stay vigilant.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, this has been super informative.
Yeah, I hope so.
It really has. So just to wrap things up, what are some key takeaways you want our listeners to remember?
Well, first of all, knowledge is power.
Right.
You have rights as a tenant in California, and knowing those rights can help you ensure a safe and livable home.
Absolutely. And we can't forget about prevention.
Definitely prevention is the best way to avoid those rodent problems in the first place.
Right.
But if you do find yourself facing an infestation, remember, you're not alone.
Yeah.
There are resources out there to help you.
Well, this has been a great conversation.
It has.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Of course.
My pleasure. And to all our listeners out there, thanks for tuning in to this deep dive on rodent rights.
Yes.
We hope you found it helpful. If you did, please give us a like and a follow.
Yes. And be sure to check out Simple Pest Management on social media.
They're a great resource. And before we go, we want to leave you with something to think about.
All right.
We've been talking about California.
Right.
But how do you think these rights and responsibilities around pests might differ in other states or even other countries?
That's a good question.
It is. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so share them with us on social media.
Yes.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay pest-free.